In a shocking turn of events, the world of the bold and the beautiful is rocked to its core as Brooke Logan, one of the most iconic and beloved characters in the Forrester family, is found dead under mysterious circumstances in a hospital. Her untimely and sudden death sends ripples of disbelief and heartbreak throughout the fashion industry, the Forrester family, and the wider community. Brooke, a woman who had fought for love, her family, and her career, had become the emotional backbone of the Forrester dynasty. Her death not only leaves a void in the lives of those closest to her, but also sparks an avalanche of questions about what really happened and who may have been involved. Was her death truly an accident, or was it something far more sinister? As the investigation unfolds, dark secrets are brought to light, and suspicions begin to cloud the minds of the people who loved her most. This is not just the death of a family member. It's a devastating tragedy that has the power to dismantle everything the Forrester family has built. The news of Brooke's death spreads like wildfire, and soon, the entire Forrester clan is left to grapple with the loss. Each family member and friend reacts differently to the tragedy, but one thing is clear. Everyone has a motive. Ridge Forrester, her ex-husband, is devastated by her death, though their relationship had always been turbulent. He cannot escape the grief of losing the woman he once loved, even if their bond had been broken for years. Yet, Ridge's grief is overshadowed by a cloud of suspicion that hangs over him. Was he truly just a mourning ex-husband, or is there something more beneath the surface of his sorrow? Could he have been involved in a way no one suspects? He seems to be genuinely shaken, but it's hard to ignore his past with Brooke. Their complicated history leaves a lot of room for doubt. Was this simply the tragic ending of a fractured relationship, or did Ridge harbor a much darker secret? Steffi and Thomas Forrester, Brooke's children, are also affected in their own unique ways. Steffi, who had always tried to maintain a sense of strength and poise, is rocked to her core by the loss of her mother. While her grief is raw, Steffi quickly begins to wonder if there is more to her mother's death than what meets the eye. With her sharp instincts, Steffi starts questioning the people around her, including Ridge. She finds herself torn between the loyalty to her family and the nagging feeling that something is off about the whole situation. Thomas, on the other hand, is consumed with anger and confusion. He has always been a character driven by his emotions, and Brooke's death stirs up a whirlwind of unresolved issues within him. As a son who often felt neglected or overshadowed by his mother's relationships, Thomas harbors deep, complex feelings about Brooke's place in his life. His grief manifests itself in an unsettling way, pushing him further into suspicion. Could he, too, have been driven by resentment that led to a more sinister involvement in his mother's death? The Forrester children, caught between love and suspicion, are on a collision course, and Brooke's death only adds fuel to an already explosive family dynamic. Meanwhile, the Forrester family's friends and business associates are also entangled in the mystery. Liam Spencer, who has long had a complicated relationship with Brooke and the Forrester family, is shocked by her death. His involvement with Steffi and his connection to the Forrester legacy put him in a delicate position. As the family grapples with grief and suspicion, Liam feels compelled to help uncover the truth, even if it means putting his own family at risk. Bill Spencer, his father, who has had a long and often strained history with Brooke, reacts in his typical cold and calculating way. He sees Brooke's death as an opportunity to secure his place in the family's business, and his willingness to manipulate the situation for his own gain becomes evident. While Bill may not be directly involved in her death, his motives and actions certainly raise questions. The lines between grief and opportunism blur, and his ambitions will play a key role in the investigation into what really happened to Brooke. As the investigation intensifies, a series of secrets begins to surface. The Forrester family has long been a hotbed of scandal, and now, as Brooke's death is examined under the microscope, those dark secrets begin to unravel. Brooke's past relationships, her business dealings, and the people she trusted all come under scrutiny. Ridge's relationship with Brooke, once filled with passion, now seems clouded with suspicion. What really went on behind closed doors between them? Were there unresolved conflicts that led to a deadly confrontation? Was there someone else in her life who may have wanted her gone? As the search for answers intensifies, the Forrester family is forced to confront the darkest corners of their past. Enter Luna, a mysterious figure from the past who resurfaces at the most unexpected time. Luna's return to the Forrester fold brings with it a wave of change and disruption. Luna, who had been absent for a long time, seems to have her own motives for returning to the family. Her sudden reappearance raises questions about her connection to the Forrester family and, more specifically, to Brooke. Did Luna know something about Brooke's death that no one else does? As Luna weaves her way into the Forrester family's complex web of relationships, her role in Brooke's death becomes increasingly uncertain. She certainly isn't there by accident, and her motives become more questionable as she becomes entangled in the family drama. Her presence not only complicates the investigation into Brooke's death, but also sparks new conflicts between the family members, particularly as old alliances shift and secrets are revealed. Luna's return forces the Forrester family to examine not just their history with Brooke, but the hidden layers of their own past that they would rather keep buried. Amidst all the intrigue and suspicion, one question continues to haunt everyone. Could Taylor Hayes be involved in Brooke's death? Taylor, once a trusted member of the Forrester family, has been on a path of emotional turmoil and revenge in recent times. After years of being cast aside by Ridge and the rest of the family, she has harbored deep resentment and anger. Could Taylor's bitterness have finally reached a breaking point, leading her to take matters into her own hands? Taylor, once known for her warmth and intelligence, now seems driven by darker impulses. As her connection to Brooke and Ridge continues to weigh heavily on her, she becomes a prime suspect in the investigation. Did Taylor finally snap, and could she have played a role in Brooke's death? Her motivations are complex, and her actions are increasingly erratic as she grapples with the fallout from Brooke's death. As the investigation narrows, the question of Taylor's involvement looms large, and it becomes clear that there are far more layers to the story than anyone could have imagined. In the wake of Brooke's death, the Forrester family is forced to confront a hard truth. Nothing is as it seems. The web of secrets, lies, and betrayals that has long defined their legacy now threatens to destroy everything they've built. With each new twist and turn, the mystery of Brooke's death deepens, and the Forrester family is pulled further into a vortex of suspicion and turmoil. As the investigation unfolds, each character's past is dragged into the light, and the true nature of their relationships with Brooke is revealed. The question remains, who killed Brooke and why? The answers may not be what anyone expects, and the repercussions of this tragedy will forever alter the course of the Forrester family's future. As the investigation into Brooke's sudden and tragic death deepens, the Forrester family and their closest allies find themselves ensnared in a web of doubt, betrayal, and uncertainty. Every conversation, every glance exchanged, becomes laced with suspicion. No one is above suspicion, and no one is safe from the fallout of what happened in that hospital room. Was it truly a natural death, a cruel accident, or was something far darker at play? The question hangs over everyone like a dark cloud, and it seems no one can escape the tension that grips the family. The Forrester family, already fractured by years of internal conflict, is now teetering on the brink of collapse. Ridge, who had always been at the center of the family's drama, is now struggling to come to terms with the loss of Brooke. His grief is palpable, but as the investigation progresses, so too does the pressure mounting on him. Despite his emotional reaction, his past with Brooke raises suspicions. Could Ridge have been driven by jealousy or anger to the point of causing Brooke's death? His relationship with her had been a roller coaster ride of love, passion, and betrayal. As Ridge questions his own feelings and his involvement in the events leading up to Brooke's death, it becomes increasingly clear that his past actions may have unknowingly laid the groundwork for tragedy. As the days pass, Steffi and Thomas Forrester are forced to reckon with the uncomfortable reality that their family's legacy may be stained by this horrific event. Steffi, ever the composed figure in the family, now finds herself battling not only her own grief, but also her growing suspicions. Her mother's death, while deeply painful, also feels like a catalyst for something more sinister. Could someone within the family be behind it all? Steffi's sharp intuition leads her to question everyone, including Ridge. With a growing sense of unease, she begins to dig deeper into the details surrounding her mother's death, starting to unravel clues that others might overlook. Thomas, on the other hand, is consumed with rage. His relationship with Brooke had always been strained, but her death, coupled with his own unresolved feelings toward her, fuels a dark obsession with finding out the truth. His emotions, once bottled up and buried beneath his anger, begin to rise to the surface. His anger at the Forrester family for abandoning him, coupled with his deep-seated resentment toward Brooke for not giving him the love and recognition he craved, becomes a dangerous mix. As Thomas's investigation into his mother's death intensifies, it becomes clear that he is willing to go to extreme lengths to uncover the truth, no matter what it costs. Meanwhile, Luna's return to the Forrester family stirs up even more conflict. Her appearance was unexpected, and it's clear that her motives are anything but pure. Luna, with her own agenda and her complex ties to the Forrester family, seems to have a vested interest in what happened to Brooke. She begins to play a more prominent role in the investigation, using her knowledge of family secrets to manipulate those around her. Her mysterious connection to the Forrester family, and more specifically to Brooke, starts to come to light. As Luna becomes entangled in the web of suspicion, her actions raise even more questions. Was she involved in Brooke's death, or is she merely another piece of a much larger puzzle? Taylor Hayes, once the beloved psychiatrist and the woman who had long been a part of the Forrester family, remains at the heart of the mystery. With each passing day, she becomes more isolated. Her past grievances, particularly her feelings of betrayal by Ridge and the Forrester family, have shaped her into someone unrecognizable. The woman who once sought to heal broken relationships now seems driven by an insatiable thirst for revenge. Her role in Brooke's death has been speculated upon, but with her increasingly erratic behavior, many begin to wonder if she is capable of crossing the line. Taylor's actions in the aftermath of Brooke's death become more suspicious by the day. She is seen in places she shouldn't be, making cryptic remarks to those who question her involvement, and her once strong relationships with Steffi and Thomas begin to crumble. Is Taylor's thirst for vengeance so deep that she would kill Brooke to get the closure she needed? Or is she simply a victim of circumstances, someone who has been pushed too far by years of rejection and abandonment? The lines between truth and manipulation blur, and as the investigation into Brooke's death intensifies, Taylor finds herself under closer scrutiny than ever before. As the Forrester family struggles to hold on to what remains of their crumbling legacy, new revelations emerge. A hidden recording from the hospital where Brooke passed away comes to light, revealing a cryptic conversation between Brooke and an unknown individual just moments before her death. The recording is grainy, and the voice is muffled, but it's enough to fuel further suspicion. Who is Brooke speaking to? What did she know that might have led to her untimely demise? The recording serves as a key piece of evidence that no one can ignore, and it raises more questions than answers. Every family member and friend is drawn into the mystery as they try to decipher the final moments of Brooke's life. Liam Spencer, always a stabilizing force in the Forrester family, becomes embroiled in the investigation as well. With his knowledge of family dynamics and his close connection to Steffi and Ridge, Liam takes it upon himself to investigate further. His involvement only adds to the complications as Bill Spencer, his father, becomes suspicious of the entire investigation. Bill, who has long been driven by his own desires for power and control, sees Brooke's death as a way to manipulate the situation to his advantage. He begins to use the chaos surrounding her death to secure his own position in the family business, making alliances with those who are also seeking to take advantage of the uncertainty. Bill's willingness to exploit the tragedy for his own gain deepens the rift between him and his son, Liam, as their conflicting values come to the forefront. As the weeks pass, the mystery surrounding Brooke's death grows more convoluted. Every new lead seems to create more questions rather than answers. The Forrester family, once united in their love for fashion and legacy, now finds themselves at the mercy of their own secrets and betrayals. With each new revelation, they realize just how far-reaching the consequences of Brooke's death truly are. The family's foundations are being rocked to their core, and no one is left untouched by the events that have unfolded. In the final twist, just as the truth seems within reach, the investigation takes another unexpected turn. Luna, who had been playing her cards carefully, finally reveals a shocking truth about her own involvement in the family's dark past. Her return to the Forrester fold wasn't coincidental. She had been working with someone on the inside for much longer than anyone realized. The revelation sends shockwaves through the family, as long-held secrets are exposed, and the true nature of Brooke's death comes to light. But the truth, when it finally emerges, is far more complicated than anyone had anticipated. The Forrester family will never be the same again, and neither will the world of the bold and the beautiful. As the dust settles, the Forrester family is left to pick up the pieces of their shattered legacy. Their world has been forever changed by the death of Brooke Logan, and the complex web of lies, betrayal, and revenge continues to shape their future. But the question remains, who truly killed Brooke, and what price will the family have to pay for their involvement in this tragic turn of events? The answers are far from clear, and only time will reveal the full extent of the damage done. The Forrester family's journey is far from over, and the scars of this devastating loss will linger for years to come.